poppin' B? Perpock here, and welcome back to another episode of Race the Ramen, the show where I attempt to review something unscripted in the amount of time it takes to boil an instant ramen. And today, we'll be taking a look at... Look Back. Showing now in select theaters and available to stream on demand. Alright, we're going to start the timer right now. Okay. So, look back at my new timer. No, but really. Look Back. This is a movie that recently got a wider release, in the States at least, on Amazon Prime, I believe. And it was in a number of select theaters the past few weeks. And it's still in a few at the time I'm making this video, but it will soon be out of theaters. And we'll have to look back at the opportunity we all missed to see it in theaters. Except me, because I did see it in theaters. I actually saw it about a month ago, at this point I guess a few weeks. The same day I saw Joker Folie à Deux, and let me tell you, in case you haven't seen my review of that film, I needed a palate cleanser after that fucking miserable shit experience. So, kind of on a whim, I decided to give this movie a try. I knew very little about Look Back going into it. I knew it was an anime. I knew that it was under an hour long, which is crazy to see in a movie theater, in the States at least. And it was from some of the people behind Chainsaw Man, which I know that people like, but I've never seen. So, my basic impression was everyone was saying it was great, and it was basically about two young women who like to draw, who inspire each other to draw, and then it's, you know, a series of vignettes about their life as they age and grow up together learning to draw. And that's about all I can really say without going into risk of spoiler territory. I'm going to try and keep this one short because, one, the movie's really short. I literally don't think I've ever seen a movie shorter than an hour in a movie theater before in my life until now. It was a great experience. We should do it more often. We need, like, good, short, sweet movies that we can just get in and get out. Like, oh man. First of all, another thing, I saw this after Joker. I was alone in the Joker theater. Look Back theater was packed full of really, like, enraptured anime fans who were all clearly, like, really absorbed by it and enjoying themselves. As was I. I saw this with my girlfriend and we both really liked it. It's brilliantly animated. Like, sometimes it looks simple, because it probably had a small budget, but at times it looks, like, godly. There's just some sequences in here that are insanely smooth and wonderfully inspired. And just on, like, a filmmaking level, it's paced and scripted so well. I really cannot go into much detail because it's a huge part of it, but there's a sort of twist in where you think the narrative is going, somewhere in the middle. And again, I dare not spoil it, but it almost kind of makes puts the question forward: what makes an artist create their art? What inspires them? Why do we really do it? Or really here, why do we draw? And I guess it's to make cool little pictures that we can share. Hopefully that gives you a decent impression of what I think of the movie, because I'd like to say, in case this wasn't made clear, it's a great movie. Look Back is fantastic, and I'd recommend it to basically anybody if you've got an hour to spare. I mean, let me just put it to you this way. Do you want a beautifully animated, very sweet, well-paced, unique, inspiring, like, emotionally stirring, like, heart-wrenching, happy, sad, just cool little movie? Do you want a cool little anime movie that you can watch for an hour that may or may not inspire you to pick up a passion you put down at some point, or make you question why you followed what you did in the first place in your life? Oh no, you don't want that? Well, you can go watch Despicable Me 4 or something. But if you're one of the people who do want that, watch Look Back. It's fantastic. I would personally give Look Back an 8 out of 10, which, from what I understand, is a little low. A lot of people have been giving this 9s and 10s, and I see why. It's like a short little burst of perfection. For what it is, I basically don't have any criticisms of it. And upon another rewatch, I might extract even more from it. My score might go up. But as it stands, like, going in blind, I was kind of swept off my feet and given one of the best movies I've seen this year. And it seems like a pretty unanimous reaction. Everybody thinks this is really great. And if you don't, cool. But if you do, you might just cry your eyes out and it might just change your life. And I've said something to the effect of that on this channel before, that you should seek out those experiences and that I like to promote those kinds of experiences. So yeah, if you want kind of a soul-searchy but somewhat cutesy and artistic rendition of like the human endeavor, like why we make art and like how it connects us to others around us, highly recommended. Otherwise, you can just, I don't know, eat a dick. I don't fucking know.
Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
And today we'll be taking a look at Kneecap. Available now on demand. Alright, we're going to start the timer right now. Okay, so Kneecap. This is a really intriguing, unique, niche little movie that has been on my radar for a couple of months now. I had an opportunity to see it in theaters, but missed it. It was only really playing in one theater nearby for like 4 days, and I just didn't really have the opportunity to go see it, which is unfortunately a thing that seems to be happening with a lot of movies this year for me. But anyway, I finally got the chance to catch this movie on demand, rented it twice actually, but I'll get into that. And now that I've finally seen it, I am eager and excited to tell all of you guys why you should watch it, like, right now. Kneecap is one of the most fun movies I've watched all year. It is the most fun, some of the best fun I've had with a cinematic experience the entire year. And on top of that, and it just being like a really like charming and approachable movie, it's surprisingly like layered in like political and socio-cultural themes, and it's full of like really good music and intriguing filmmaking choices that I found very interesting, and it's just a really good time. It's, in case you don't know, it is a based on a true story, dramatized version of the rise of fame of the Irish rap group Kneecap, and I had no idea who these guys were before I saw this movie. And seeing the trailer in front of some other movie, I forget what it was, but seeing the trailer, I was immediately intrigued. I'm like, oh, this looks right up my alley. But doing a little more research, I got intrigued because I had never heard of this band. And their whole deal is they are a rap group from Belfast, Ireland, and they rap in native Irish. And this film is a sort of hyper reality, kind of true but not quite true, dramatized version of events of how the band came to form, why it formed, and it's not really so much a story about, you know, how cool the band is, but more so like what the band means to these people in it, and like their place in their culture, and like what the band kind of means for the greater culture around them. Because like it tells a story of how there's very few native Irish speakers left in Northern Ireland, and you got these two like kind of street punky guys who like sell drugs, and through a series of weird circumstances, these dudes meet up with a school teacher and they all just click, and they basically become like this anarcho-punk civil rights group, while also promoting like frequent drug use and like foul language. So they're fighting for a good cause, but people like don't prefer their methods. So they get a lot of flack from different spaces, and I have been like trying to do research on how much of this movie was like, dramatized or like scaled up to make it more cinematic, and like what wasn't, because some of this stuff, if true, is fascinating. Some of it, if true, can't be true, because no way. And I'm like having trouble like blurring the line. It's interesting. This movie doesn't feel like it's trying to like rewrite history or anything by like playing it a little fast and loose with the realistic aspects of some of the finer details. Again, it feels more like a hyper reality. It feels almost like tongue in cheek, as if like they're just trying to capture that moment and they can't really, fully depict their lives and like the Irish experience in this one story. So it's like, I seriously doubt that when Mocara was out banging birds that they all had like Union Jack socks and pictures of Queen Elizabeth on their walls, like it happens in the movie. And some other details like that. I don't know if Naisa's dad was really like a guy who went around bombing cars. I don't know any of that, but I do know that it makes for a really fascinating and interesting story about like culture and identity, the importance of language, and like not silencing even like small groups that people are like, oh, what's it matter? And that like cultural value and like all that stuff can come from anywhere. It's just all these little themes on top of this big, joyful, colorful explosion of a drug trip, fun musical movie. And I watched it twice and think it's dope. Fucking watch it. Hopefully that gives you a decent impression of what I think of the movie, because while Look Back is hard to discuss because it's short and a good half of it would be like major spoilers to discuss, Kneecap is just kind of like, I don't know how else to put it other than it is a very independent film. Lower budget, kind of atypical structure, really great opening leading on to a satisfying but kind of open-ended ending, because all that really happened in real life was these people went on living their lives and continuing to be a band. So it's just a really just intriguing way that they've framed this story and presented it. All of the music in Native Irish, which is all new to me, again, because I'd never heard of Kneecap before this. I thought it was all great. It got me interested to look into the band, obviously like look up their history and stuff. They seem like really fun guys, and considering none of them are like career actors, this is basically their debut for all three main members, they all do really well. Acting alongside like Michael Fassbender and each other and just like pulling it off effortlessly, it seems like. The editing's really interesting. Apparently it's the debut for the director, who like did one of their music videos once. There's a really genuinely great drug trip scene like early on. And there's like a shot from that I haven't been able to get out of my head since I saw it. Like, I pretty much knew I would enjoy this movie, but I didn't think I'd love it quite this much. It's not the deepest movie ever, but it is a lot deeper than what you might expect. For a movie about, like, drug dealing, like, hood rappers from Belfast, you'd think maybe it was just kind of like a let us do our thing sort of movie, but there's a lot of intelligence and, like, emotional softness, like, layered into it. And I'm just really happy that I got a chance to see it. I would recommend maybe doing a little bit of research preemptively if you're going to watch this movie. If you intend to like get the full experience out of the actual translated dialogue, I would avoid the Amazon Prime version. Like I said, I had to rent this movie twice, and I rented it first on Vudu, watched a bit of it, then unfortunately I let my rental expire because I'm dumb. And when I rented it again on Amazon to finish it, I noticed that not only were some of the subtitles not the same, but a lot of the sequences in Native Irish didn't have translations. And frankly, that made me really upset. That made me, like, actually mad. Like, that goes against, like, the whole idea that this fucking movie is fighting for. And maybe someone could have just given them a master track with all the translated English, but still, whoever messed up there, not cool. These guys are fighting to keep Irish in people's mouths, and you just took it out of their mouths. Put it back in their mouths, ass. Anyway, before I keep rambling forever, I should probably give this movie a score so I can go to sleep. I give Kneecap a 9 out of 10. Again, that could go down. Probably won't go up from where it is, because, like, I'll admit it's maybe a little high for, like, the problems I have with it. But it's just such a surprisingly intelligent and, like, thought-provoking and really, really fun, well-made and presented movie. It just really surprised me on, like, all fronts. And I'd recommend it to basically anybody who's interested. So, yeah, 9 out of 10 for Kneecap. You should watch Kneecap, you should watch Look Back, you should watch all sorts of movies. Even movies you don't think you're gonna like or don't know anything about, because sometimes you can get a great surprise. Like an anime that makes you cry your eyes out. Or an Irish rap movie where you get to see someone pee sideways, like there's Medusas from Castlevania coming out of his cock. You gotta live life a little bit and try stuff sometimes. Which is why I'm going to try and think of a good way to end this video for once. That'd be a new thing for me.